Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into what is really driving Bitcoin. And let me give you a little hint. It has a lot less to do with the hype you see online and a whole lot more to do with a financial weapon that's being used on a massive global scale. So, let me ask you, what do you think drives Bitcoin? If you said things like price speculation, retail hype, or maybe all the big news about the ETFs, you'd be describing the common story perfectly. But here's the thing, that story, it's getting a little outdated. The real hidden driver, the one with way more structural power, is about something totally different: economic sanctions. I want you to really let this idea sink in for a second. Sanctions don't make the need for money just disappear. All they do is block the normal roads. And when you block the roads, what happens? All that traffic, all that demand, it's forced to find a new route. And that's exactly where Bitcoin enters the picture. It's quickly becoming the world's new financial escape route. Okay, so how does this financial weapon actually work? Let's just set aside the politics for a minute and look at the pure mechanics of what sanctions do. It really all boils down to one thing: financial exclusion. The best way to think about sanctions is like a financial siege. Seriously, this isn't just a slap on the wrist. The entire goal is to completely sever a country's connection to the lifeblood of the global economy, which, of course, is the US dollar. And it happens in three basic steps. First, boom, your access to US dollars is restricted. That's like closing the main highway into your country. Second, your banks can't communicate with other banks through the SWIFT system. That's basically like cutting all the phone lines. And finally, all those partnerships your local banks have with big global banks, what we call correspondent banking, they just collapse. And just like that, you're totally isolated. So you could have all the oil in the world, right? But if you can't actually get paid for it, what good is it? The demand for money is still there. It's stronger than ever, but your access to it is completely gone. And that is the exact moment when people are forced to get creative and start building brand new systems. Now look, this is not some theoretical problem. The Trump administration used sanctions way more aggressively than we'd ever seen before, going after major economies like Russia and Iran. And that was a huge wake-up call for the world. It showed everyone that access to the dollar system could be turned off, just like a light switch, which forced pretty much everyone to start looking for a plan B. For centuries, gold has been the go-to alternative. But let's be honest, it's slow. You gotta physically ship it, you have to insure it, you have to get it approved. Bitcoin, on the other hand, well, it moves at the speed of the internet. There's no permission required. For a country that's been cut off, that difference is an absolute game changer. Now I know exactly what you're thinking, because it's the same thing every single retail investor thinks. Wait a minute, the price swings are just insane. How could anyone possibly use this for serious, large-scale transactions? And that's the perfect question, really, because it gets to the heart of a huge misunderstanding about who the user is here. You see, as a retail investor, you're watching the price every minute. But what if you're a whole country just trying to buy medicine? You only have one question that matters. Will the payment go through? Yes or no? For these users, settlement certainty is everything. A 10% price swing is a risk they can probably manage, but a 100% chance of a blocked payment, that's a risk they simply cannot afford to take. So is this all just a theory? Is this something that might happen in the future? Not at all. Countries are already doing this. They're quietly accumulating Bitcoin, and the evidence, it's hiding in plain sight. I mean, just look at Russia. It's now experimenting with crypto to settle its energy trades. Or look at Iran, which is officially using crypto in mines to pay for crucial imports. And you see the same story playing out in Venezuela and other sanctioned economies. For them, this isn't about some philosophical belief in Bitcoin. It's about pure economic survival. Think of it like this. Imagine the dollar system is the main railway that connects the whole world. Well, if you get kicked off that railway, you're going to take any other train that's still running, right? Bitcoin is the only global railway that can't be shut down by any single country. It's a truly neutral global alternative. Okay, but this is where the story takes a really fascinating and, frankly, a game-changing turn. And it involves a major strategic pivot from the very person who supercharged the use of sanctions in the first place. Donald Trump went from publicly criticizing Bitcoin to openly supporting it. So you have to ask, why? Well, it's pretty clear he realized that if you can't stop the train, you had better figure out a way to own the train stations. Now, by on-ramps, we're talking about the exchanges and the services that let people buy and sell Bitcoin. If you can control those, you still have a huge say in who gets to use the system. And all of this creates what is basically a perfect storm for Bitcoin's supply.
You've got the new ETFs just absorbing huge amounts. You've got the long-term holders who are just not selling. You have sanctioned countries stacking it for trade, and now you've got other countries buying it as a hedge. All of these different forces are creating this massive structural demand that's chasing a fixed, limited supply. That's a recipe for incredible upward pressure. What we're seeing isn't the get-rich-quick FOMO we're used to seeing from retail investors. This is something else entirely. You can call it sovereign FOMO, and it's not driven by greed. It's driven by something far more powerful: national survival. It's really the difference between a wave in a wave pool and a tsunami. One's for fun, the other is an unstoppable force of nature. So, here's the ultimate takeaway, and it's a huge irony. The very weapon that was designed to enforce the US dollar's dominance is now actually accelerating the rise of its biggest potential competitor. Bitcoin isn't going to replace the dollar tomorrow, but what it is doing is creating a world where no single country can financially blacklist another. And that leaves us with a huge question. What happens when every country on Earth has a key to this new, neutral financial system?